It is Asian Cup round of 16 time, 8 games, 16 teams left in this tournament, and it is finally time to do a video about it. We have had some incredible upsets in the group stage, some unbelievable games of football, and just quality displays from teams. We've also had some boring ones, but I'm going to be trying to predict all 8 round of 16 games today. You tell me in the comments if you disagree with me or not. Starting off with the first game, Australia versus Indonesia. Now, man, those Australians, all we can say is that they are boring. They top the group with 7 points. You can expect them in this game. Possession-based football, just going to be spamming crosses into the box, and they've got a few scrappy goals, a penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty against Uzbekistan, a nice goal from Jordan Boss, yes, in the India game, but they really haven't been a lovely team to watch, right? No one's really going at them, oh wow, they're amazing to watch, but they get the job done. Who knows what Graham Arnold's going to do in the round of 16s, but they're up against an Indonesia side who had an okay group stage, I think you could say, for their standards. I mean, they lost 2 games, but they beat Vietnam 1-0, and it was a pretty good performance. However, they lack tactics. And hero ball doesn't work against Australia. Lumping it up to that guy Marcelino, who is an absolute baller, by the way, at the age of 19, that is not going to work against Australia. It is not going to get you through into the quarterfinals, and that is why I see the Australians just being better here. They've just got a more experienced side. They've got the physicality of this as well, and they're just a very solid team. Very tough to break down, very tough to score against. They only conceded 1, that was the header to Uzbekistan, and I feel like they'll get through. 2-0 to Australia. Moving on to the next game. This is between Tajikistan and the UAE. I mean, this is going to be an interesting one as well, because just what can I say about UAE, right? Everyone thought that they were actually going to be good at this tournament, right? I had high hopes on them. They don't have well-known players, but they nearly made it to the World Cup. Every time I've watched them, they've looked kind of good. They've got Paulo Bento as the manager. But this tournament, yes, they did play a man down against Palestine and didn't lose that game somehow, so well done to them. But against Iran, they got dominated, right? Not an encouraging group stage performance at all, but they do have lots of talent up front. Going forward, man, the UAE are strong, right? They can be strong, and they can show that they're strong. And up against them is a Tajikistan side that qualified for the knockout stages for the first time in their history, so big up them. And I feel like the emotion of getting through, right, is your first time. If you get through, I feel like they don't have the depth to beat UAE. I feel like that they've got a good midfield, right? But they just lack that cutting edge, that quality. And they were also in the easiest group alongside China and Lebanon and Qatar. And it wasn't, and you'd expect them to potentially do something against those teams. I mean, the Chinese, God help it, they can't score. And then Lebanon are just not great. They also lack quality. So I feel like 2 teams that have, one's overperformed but lacks quality, one's underperformed but has quality. I feel like UAE will come away with the win. I think it'll be close, but I'm going UAE 1, Tajikistan 0. I don't trust Tajikistan to score. No player in that Tajik national team has over 10 goals for their country. It's as simple as that. They don't have a finisher. Right, they don't have a finisher, and UAE up front talent, it's fine. Moving on to the next game, we've got some incredible games. Looking at this, the next one is Iraq versus Jordan. An unbelievable game, I think this is going to be, because Iraq have been unbelievable. 9 points from a possible 9, beating Japan, and that man up front, Ayman insane. My guy is insane. He is a baller. Ayman Hussein, top goal scorer of the tournament with 5 goals. Iraq play a very strong attacking football, right? Their defenders are very good at attacking as well, right? They've got good fullbacks. They've got a very good all-round solid team. And up against them is Jordan, who absolutely blew away Malaysia 4-0. Then put in a very, very encouraging 2-2 draw against South Korea. And then in the last game, they decided to bench their best player, Al Tamari, and they lost to Bahrain, and some of the fans were seen celebrating and stuff. I don't know whether they were celebrating the fact that they were going to avoid Japan, right, which if they won that game and won the group is exactly what would have happened. But boy, oh boy, they've got a tough matchup. They've avoided Japan, but Iraq is certainly not a team that you would like to face in the round of 16. But yes, Musa Al-Tamari is the guy to watch out for, man. Against Malaysia, I thought he was absolutely incredible, and I thought the entire team were. But bro, Iraq have looked different level this tournament. That both defenses are not the best, but going forward, I feel like this could be a shootout. This is going to be something very, very interesting to see. I think it's going to be 1-1 in normal time. And I think Iraq nick it 2-1 in extra time. Ayman Hussein masterclass, man. That guy is excellent. That guy is so, so good. Moving on to the next game we're going to be talking about, which is, I've gone back and forth on this one for so long. It is Qatar versus Palestine. Now, oh my God, mate. Oh my God. Where do we start with Palestine? They can do everything but score. If Palestine could score, they could be the greatest team in the world. They've actually got so much quality, and they just keep missing chances. They, at this tournament, have the most big chances missed of all the teams. 7 big chances missed in 3 games, man. You just got to be more clinical than that. And in the last game, yes, they did get better. 3-0 against Hong Kong. And that man up front, Daba, could he be the one to eradicate this problem of missing chances? Maybe. But Qatar, they got the easiest group, right? It's no two ways about it. They got Tajikistan, China, and Lebanon. They absolutely walked through it like there's no tomorrow, right? There was really none of these teams ever caused any trouble to the Qataris. And up front, that duo of Almoez Ali and Akram Afif is very, very good, very solid. But overall, man, this team are not good, right? People looking at those displays going, oh yeah, they could win it again. No, they're not that good, right? And if Palestine could score, I guarantee you they beat Qatar. So I feel like it's going to be close. I feel like it's going to be very close. Let's see what the Palestinians can do. The fact that they played over half the game against the UAE, 1 man up, and still couldn't get the win is just not good on them, man. But I've backed them. I've actually backed them. I think this might shock some people. Palestine 2, Qatar 1, and Palestine advance into the quarterfinals. The next game is between Uzbekistan and Thailand. These are 2 teams that basically didn't concede a goal in the groups. Thailand, 0 goals conceded. Uzbekistan, 1 goal conceded. And that was that ridiculous penalty against Australia. I feel like we could get a boring game here. And that is why I've gone for 0-0. I've gone for 0-0. I think Uzbekistan are going to win it on penalties. I feel like it's going to be really close. Both teams have extremely good defenses. That Uzbekistan backline is physical. They want to, expect. If you're going to watch this game, you're going to expect to see Uzbekistan on the ball a lot, trying to play possession, trying to dominate the ball, create chances. And Thailand on the counter, bro. So yes, we could get some goals, but I don't think we're going to get any. I think Uzbekistan will be fine if they can keep the Thai counter-attack under control. And that man, Super Chai up front, bro's a baller. Do not underestimate him. He has got pace, he's got power, he's got a finish in him as well. And Uzbekistan, I thought they looked good against Australia, right? 1-1. Again, the penalty, I'm not counting that. So this is their moment. They're going into this probably as the favourites, but they should not underestimate Thailand. Just because it's a Southeast Asian team does not mean they're bad. They are no mugs, but Uzbekistan are going to win it on penalties and advance into the quarterfinals. And looking at the matchups, looking at what I've just predicted, if Uzbekistan win, as I said, and Palestine win, as I said, they will face each other. And in that game, I fancy the Uzbeks to potentially make a semi-finals here. So this game's important. This game is very important for them. And then the next one is the tournament favourites, the ones with absolutely the most attacking talent, right? I think that Takefusa Kubo is a pearl of a player. I think he's so good. I feel like his movement on the ball is exquisite, right? Takumi Minamino is, again, a fantastic player. But I think Moriyasu's getting it wrong. Why are you playing Kubo through the middle and Minamino out wide? That is just not logical. You swap them round, right? And at the back, man, they've been shaky this tournament. Ko Itakura, I don't think, has been the best. Zion Suzuki in goal. I think he's definitely feeling the pressure. A few of the goals were his fault. He's a young guy. It's good that the manager has trust in him. But, bro, Japan could pay the price. And especially with the fact that, guys, they cannot defend a set piece to save their lives. Any crosses into the box, in the air or anything, Japan are done. However, the fact that they're playing Bahrain might be a blessing because Bahrain just aren't... They're not. That's not their suit. That's not their style of football, right? If you look at the goals that they're scoring, not many are set pieces, right? There's only one was against Malaysia, and that wasn't really a header, right? It was from outside the box and stuff. So I don't think Bahrain are suited to play the Japanese, right? I just don't think that they have much of a chance here, right? Even though Japan have shown signs of being shaky, I don't think they're losing to Bahrain, and I've gone for a pretty comfortable Japan 3, Bahrain 1. Next up, it is a game which I think is fairly easy to predict just based off how good and how dominant the Iranis looked in the group stage. It's them against Syria. It's Iran, Syria, and boy, oh boy, man, Iran have been unbelievable, right? That first game, 4-1 against Palestine. Then they absolutely fell asleep against Hong Kong. Literally looked like they didn't want to play, and yet they still won 1-0. And then they dominated the UAE, right, 2-1. And that link up front, their chemistry that Mehdi Taremi and Sardar Azmoun have together is just brilliant, right? They're such talented players, and I feel like the whole team has really shone at this tournament. I think Saman Ghoddos in the midfield, I think he's been very solid, right? I think against Palestine, I thought he was excellent. I thought the right back, Moharami, right? I thought he's been very good. The goalkeeper, Bayran Vand as well, saved a penalty obviously against UAE. Man, Iran, they've looked dominating. Looks like they've got really good team chemistry, and they don't want to bottle it here. They need to keep going. And against Syria, I don't think that they really have much of a problem here. Yes, Syria have looked so boring, so just defense, right? Stubborn football. They're going to sit back. They're going to make it really difficult for the Iranis. But I think that the quality in that Iran team is too good to not break down Syria. I think that this will be an Iran 2, Syria 0. And Syria scored 1 goal, and that came against India, who might be the worst team of the tournament. Come on, right? However, one player I do like is Ramadan, the winger. I think he's an absolute baller. But they just can't attack. They really can't attack. They've got a very good defence, though, so if they can go 70 minutes or something without conceding a goal, do not count them out of this. But I think Iran are too good. And then the final game. I've saved this one till last because this is the cracker. It is between Saudi Arabia and South Korea. The fact that we're getting this matchup in the round of 16 shows something, because South Korea obviously didn't win their group, and they conceded 6 goals in 3 games to Bahrain, Jordan, and Malaysia. That is not good. That is not good on the defense, and I feel like Jurgen Klinsmann is getting everything wrong. I really don't rate him as a manager, to be honest. They're playing just that classic 4-4-2. They look out of ideas, and they're just relying on your Lee Kang-ins, your Son Heung-mins, these guys to do it for you. You're going to have to incorporate the team more. And one guy who hasn't been very good is up front, Cho Gae-sung. He's looked lost. He's looked completely isolated. Hasn't really done much. Kim Min-jae, in that last game against Malaysia, didn't look the best, right? He had a good tournament before that. Malaysia wasn't the best. The fact that they conceded 3 to that shocking Malaysian team just shows you something, right? And Saudi Arabia themselves, though, they're not having a great tournament either. Now, they have got Roberto Mancini as a manager, who's obviously a Premier League winner. He's a Euros winner. But does he know what his best team is? Does he really have the passion for this job? Does he really care what happens here? And Saudi Arabia, yes, they've been solid defensively, right? I'll give them that. Defensively, again, solid to break, solid. Very tough to break down. But they're not really creating, to be honest. They're not scoring either, to be honest. And Salam Al-Dafsari, one of the star players, hasn't really been at his best. I feel like the guys who've really stepped it up for Saudi Arabia here was Garib. I think he's been very good. And then the other guy, Kano, right? Kano's very good in the midfield, Mohamed Kano for Al Hilal. So they've got some players, right? But I just don't think that they're at their best. But then again, I don't think that South Korea are at their best either, right? The thing, Saudi Arabia played against 9-man Kyrgyzstan and only won 2-0. Kyrgyzstan are rubbish, right? Then they couldn't break down Thailand in 90 minutes either. So I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen in here. This is probably the most unpredictable game possible. It's between Mancini and Klinsmann. What is going to happen? And I've gone for a shock. The bookies won't agree with me, but I think Saudi Arabia are going to actually win this game. Salem Al-Dafsari will turn up in this game. Saudi Arabia 2, South Korea 1. But I do expect Lee Gang-in to pop up. I think he's brilliant. He's had an excellent tournament as well. That free kick against Malaysia is just incredible. It is so pinpoint. It is Lionel Messi-esque. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. There you go, everybody. Those are my predictions for the round of 16s of the Asian Cup. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, and I'll see you next time.